Hello, it's Colette. Welcome to my channel. And if you're a newbie, if you like what I do, please subscribe. Although with this weekly tarot card, it's probably not the best week to join me. We are normally an awful lot more upbeat on this channel. And if you're an oldie goldie, thank you for coming back. Remember to sort of press the little bell icon besides subscribing. That way you'll always get notifications. Anyway, this is the weekly tarot card for the week commencing Monday, the 11th of September 2017, and it's the Ten of Swords. In the Rohrig Deck it looks quite intense. In fact, in every deck it looks quite intense, to be honest. It's not the best card in the deck. In fact, some would say it's the worst. But we're going to use it as a warning, and giving you the heads up a few days before we go into the week is always a good idea with the negative cards of the tarot. The Ten of Swords, if we see, it says ruin on it, and it's full of muddled heads and brains and whatever. Now, in the traditional tarot decks, it has a person lying on the floor with 10 swords on their back, bleeding, etc. It's not a good card, and it indicates a person has been almost mortally wounded, can't get back up again. In Rohrig, he brings out more the mental aspects of it, that, you know, the way you would feel about maybe being stabbed in the back, or the way that your mind can take you to places that you don't want to go. In general, it can bring out negative stuff. It can bring out things, you know, in a spread we would look at it combined with another card to tell us what it was about. But in general, there could be a feeling in the air of, things are too much, I'm not coping very well with everything. And when that becomes a kind of general feel, sometimes something's caused it, whether it's something to do with mad leaders doing something, or whether it's to do with a kind of a thing that surpasses like all countries. Sometimes it can be like what's happening in Houston, earth changes. It can be all sorts of negative things that get in our consciousness and make us feel, oh my goodness, what's this about? The world's a bad place. So in general, it's not the great influence for the week ahead, but remember that these are general cards. Some people will feel them intensely. The majority will feel them kind of there in the background, and some won't be hit with them at all. So just remember that, you know. So if we look at it with career, it's very much a warning against letting stress get to you, to the stage that the whole job becomes the issue. You know, sometimes we have a build-up of stress in career, and it's incremental. It comes little bit. The Ten of Swords tends to come after there's been something that's floored us. Maybe we've had a bad assessment, or we've had a review not go our way, or we've had all sorts of things that really haven't been in our favour, and it can be like the straw that broke the camel's back as such. So if you are already stressed going into the week, particularly with career aspects, it's time to maybe pull yourself back a wee bit. Practice mindfulness if you can, remaining in the moment and not letting thoughts go round and round and round and round, because they will floor you if you don't be mindful of them. Some people could be made redundant. Some could find that there's not nice things happening within the workplace, but a lot of the time it's just incremental stress that builds up to a tipping point. Okay, so be very, very aware of that. If we look at health, Rohrig tends to bring out more the mental health aspects of this card, a ruinous mindset. Anybody that suffers from mental health issues could find that this week they become almost very expanded to a place where they think, I'm not handling this anymore. And when a Ten of Swords is out and you're feeling that way, it's really important you get help. It's really important that you actually ask someone for help, or you even see your, you know, HR person, or if you're a student or you're at school, ask to see a guidance teacher or some counsellor that can help you through the kind of stress of it all. practice mindfulness, try to keep your body and soul well. You know, remember to eat well, remember to exercise, remember to meditate, relax, because all these things will help in keeping your mind from tipping point. But if you do need help, please ask, because you'll always find someone that will be willing to help. If we look at love, the Ten of Swords can be a card that finishes relationships. It can be one that just says, you know what, something's happened and it's my bottom line and I'm not doing it anymore. Again, we would be reading that maybe with the Lover's card, the Two of Cups, etc. in a spread. But the Ten of Swords, when it's out about love, is not necessarily a good card. For those of you that are in relationships that are kind of in the long goodbye phase, you know, where it's kind of, I'm not in love with that person anymore, but I'm hanging on in there because of security or of what people will say or whatever. This Ten of Swords can actually be a good card because it pushes you to the edge, and the edge is where you have to jump off into a new way of life. So I'm not actually going to say, you know, try and stop this happening if you're in that sort of relationship, or if it's just a natural end, because this card can have the effect of stopping you hanging on too long for something that isn't working. And in that way we can view it as not a good card, but a tipping point that made you look for release. Finances, you have to be careful with this, because it can mean that maybe money you're expecting doesn't come your way. Somebody that's promised you something doesn't come through with it. Say a wee rebate you were promised doesn't come through. It can also be a warning to look out for fraud with money. Watch your bank cards, watch your details online, don't go on any dodgy sites that could take your details. All these things should be uppermost in your mind where wealth is concerned in the week ahead. And what I'm going to say with this card, if there's some sort of option that comes to you that looks almost too good to be true, it probably is, so don't go there. Okay, use your intuition the whole of the week, and it will tell you, you know, whether this is a card that's meant to have you moving in a certain direction, or whether it's pointing something out to you that you've been ignoring for a while. And that's where, you know, we don't like the Ten of Swords, but it can have an effect of release. So not the best card. Work with it, be mindful. Be aware that the whole energy of the week ahead could be anxious and a bit off. If you're spiritual, remember to put up your cocoon of white light protection and do the meditations that are in the playlists, and you should get through this. It's just the last few weeks we've had like 9 of Swords, 5 of Swords with the 3 of Swords, and now we've got the 10 of Swords. It's almost as though the cards in some way are reflecting the heaviness of life at the moment in general across the world. And I hope that that in some way breaks soon for us all, because we're just hearing of one tragedy after another. So keep yourself sane in the week ahead. I'll leave you with that thought. Try and keep yourself sane. And if you like the video, not the card, but if you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. Feel free to comment, even in experiences you've had with this card before. And I look forward to seeing you for other things on my channel and for next week, Weekly Tarot Card. Many blessings now. Bye.